Naomi's husband died. Naomi is crying. She feels as though that God has laid this upon her. So she's leaving the city of Moab to go back to her home city. She tells her daughter, she says to her daughters, to her daughter-in-laws, y'all don't have to be with me no more. Go ahead and live your life. Oprah went about her way, but Ruth said no. She says, I'm going to follow you wherever you go. I will be with you. Your God will be my God. Your people will be my people. Everything that you do, I will do. God knew that Ruth had it in her to obey Him all that she knew. She grew up in a culture that worshiped idols, worshiped golden images and calves and different types of animals, who had a culture full of sin. God knew that she had it in her to abandon such a thing. She abandoned her whole livelihood, all that she knew, all that her parents taught her, all that she abandoned it and followed God and followed Him. She followed Naomi. God's telling you today to abandon something inside of you. Abandon a lifestyle. Abandon a family member. Abandon your job. Abandon something. And you're saying, God, it's too hard. He said, if it was hard, I wouldn't have told you to do it. God knows how much to lay upon us. He knows exactly how much to lay upon us. And He knew laying this idea upon Ruth that it would not break her. He knew that she can do it. John 13, 3-17. We're introduced to Jesus. He's on the Passover week and it's about to be His final walkthrough. So as He sits with His disciples and He's talking to them, it says that He got up, laid aside His garment, and put a towel around Himself, and got on His knees and began to wash the feet of His disciples. He humbles Himself and washes the feet of those who will betray Him, those who would abandon Him, those who would doubt Him, those who will run away when the times got tough. He washes the feet of His betrayers. He shows us that, He says, even though I know that Peter is going to deny me, Judas is going to betray me, Thomas is going to doubt me, the other 9 are going to leave me, I'm going to wash their feet. I'm going to wash their feet. God knew He had it in Himself to humble Himself, even knowing that at the end of the week that He would be dead. Even knowing that on early Friday morning, early in the morning, that all those that followed Him, that heard of His words, would abandon Him. He knew that He can do it. He knew that He can sit at the table and eat food with those who would deny Him, who would betray Him. He knew it. He prepared Jesus for this day. He put Him in an arena that He knew that He would be able to win. He knew that He had it in Him. He knows that you got it in you. Acts 9, 10-16. We meet Ananias, whom God has instructed to go heal the eyes, to open the eyes of Paul, whose name is Saul in this chapter. And Ananias says, no, isn't this the same one who came to Damascus to kill your children? God says, heal them. For 3 days he's been praying, and I showed him a vision of a man coming to heal him. God knew that Ananias, out of all the people in Damascus, He knew that this individual, Ananias, had it in him. Even though he opposed what God wanted him to do, he knew that he had it in him to heal Paul of his blindness. God knew it. He could heal him. He knew that he could do it. He knew no shadow of doubt that he can heal the eyes of the enemy that was coming to prosecute him. And God's telling you today to go heal that person. Go pray for that person. Go preach to that person who has done you wrong, who lied on you, who cheated on you, who raped you, who molested you, who killed a relative of yours. God's saying, go pray for them. Go witness to them. Go heal them of their sickness. And you're saying, God, no, for they have hurt me, or they're coming to hurt me. God says, so what? I know that you can do it. My money is on you. All my chips I cashed in. I know you can do it. Go ahead and do it. Forget the naysayers. For I, God alone, knows what you're able to do. Go heal that person. Go pray for that person. Go call them up and conversate with them. Ask them how they're doing. Even though I know it's tough for you deep down inside. But God's saying, I know that you can do it. In the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 11 through 14, Peter has now just been convinced by God in Acts chapter 10 that all people of the world, whether Greek, Gentile, heathen, and Jews, all can receive salvation. So Peter knows this, and Peter goes and he tries to he sits amongst the Gentiles and he eats with them. But when the Jews come up, such as James and all of them, when these Jewish Christians come up and see Peter, Peter quickly changes. And he begins to speak out against the Gentiles. Now let's read it. Galatians 2, 11 through 14. Now when Peter had come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face, because he was to be blamed. For before certain men came from James, he would eat with the Gentiles. But when they came, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing those who were of the circumcision. And the rest of the Jews also played the hypocrite with him, so that even Barabbas was carried away with this hypocrisy. But when I saw that they were not straightforward about the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter before them all, if you being a Jew, living in a manner of the Gentiles and not as the Jews, why do you compel Gentiles to live as Jews? We who are Jews by nature are not citizens of the Gentiles. And not citizens of the Gentiles. Know that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by faith in Jesus Christ. Even we believe in Christ Jesus, that we might be justified by faith in Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law, no flesh shall be justified. But if while we seek to justify by Christ, we ourselves also are found sinners, is Christ therefore a minister of sin? Certainly not. Paul tells Peter, even Barabbas, his close colleague who helped him preach the gospel, even James, he stood up and said, how can you live in a manner of Gentiles, not as a Jew? How can you sit with the Gentiles one minute, and then when the Jews show up, you change, you turn? How? How can you, Peter? Paul stood up to all these Jews who were straightforward. Even his own colleague, his own close liaison. He said, how can you do such a thing? Is Jesus Christ a minister of sin? For the law has been fulfilled. You don't tell